Hey, everybody.
What's going
what's
on,
up,
everybody?
What's up?
Hey. You know what
Thank
today
you.
is? It is Thursday, and we are back at it like a bad habit, okay?
Yes.
And it's your girl, Bossy Babe, better known as Venus. I am the young married one with 2 beautiful children. Must I say anymore?
Yes, she is. And hey, I'm your girl, Busy Babe, better known as Ebony. I am back in the middle. I call myself the middle child in between our married young ladies. Good to see everybody. Glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad everybody's here. My name is Sandi, better known as Bougie Babe. I tell you all every week there's nothing old about me, so I'm just going to claim that I am the eldest of the group. I'm glad to see you here, and I want you guys to stick around and stay tuned with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, so usually at the top of our show, we have an uplifting quote, we have a scripture, we have something that we want to offer to you. However, in light of the times that we're going through right now with the unfortunate death of George Floyd and things like that, we have 3 very inspirational quotes that we want to give you from 3 very strong and powerful men.
Yes.
I'm going to go first, and I'm going to give my quote.
Mm-hmm.
And my quote comes from Dr. Martin Luther King. And my quote says, "There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out of the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amid the piercing chill of an alpine November."
Come on.
I'm going to say that again because I want you all to catch that, and I want it to resonate with you.
Absolutely.
There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out of the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amid the chill of an alpine November.
I'm tired of getting left standing outside.
I'm cold.
Real cold.
I'm
Iced
cold.
out. I'm an icicle.
I'm cold.
All right. Well, everyone, I'm going to give you a quote from the awesome Malcolm X.
Come on, Malcolm
Malcolm.
X. Yes.
It says, "Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you are a man, you take it."
That's right. You what?
Take that. That's what it says. One more time.
Yeah.
Malcolm X says, "Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you are a man, you take it."
Man,
I agree with that 100%.
Michael,
We're not being given anything, and we're tired of asking.
We're done asking.
We're taking what we're to have, which rightfully ours, what we're supposed to have.
Absolutely. And I can say that we're done trying. We're done. And to kill it off, I have a quote from the great Langston Hughes.
Yes.
And I'm going to hit you with it like this. "I swear to the Lord, I still can't see why democracy means everybody but me."
One more again.
"I swear to the Lord, I still can't see why democracy means everybody but me.
Now, why I don't fit in that category? Why doesn't democracy include me?
I don't understand.
Include me, right?
It don't include me or my people.
For some reason, it does not include people who look like us.
Absolutely, and that's
a deep statement.
It's a deep statement. Absolutely,
man.
We want to let you know that tonight show was supposed to be our Hot Girl Summer show.
Yeah.
We were going to have a lot of fun tonight with that topic, but guess what? Oh, it was going to go up.
Oh, it was absolutely
it was going to be lit.
It was going to be lit. We were coming in all kind of goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight we saw fit that we have a conversation that Split3 Wayz gets in the conversation with everyone else that is talking about the events surrounding the death of George Floyd.
Yes,
and not just him, just everyone that has,
Definitely.
Passed away from police brutality.
Completely.
Just to be a part of that conversation, we wanted to open up our floodgate and invite you in to speak with us as we have the conversation about that topic. All right.
And let's just, I know we were just getting started, but I just want to, say hello to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again and again, week after week. And go ahead and stop what you're doing. Like the post, share this post, because we want to reach and teach as many people as we can tonight. We do have some great guests coming on.
Yes, we do.
Definitely.
There's no reason why you guys should miss out on any of the information that will be shared with you all tonight. So let's get it started.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Oh,
hey,
sorry.
You know, it's kind of catchy when she started. It kind of just flows on. But tonight's topic, if we really wanted to call it anything, we're just going to say, let's talk about what we should do now.
Yeah.
That is tonight's topic. In light of all of the recent events that are going on, that's putting it nicely.
Right.
In light of what's going on, we're going to talk about what can we do now?
Right.
So
what can we do now?
What can we do now?
Now.
What can we do now to get us to go forward and stop going backwards? Because we're reverting and we shouldn't be reverting.
You said we're reverting?
We're reverting. And we should not be reverting.
Regressing.
Reverting.
Yeah.
Turn it around.
I agree 100%.
Going backwards.
Okay.
Shouldn't be doing that. So with the topic being, let's talk about what we should do now, I want to ask you guys a question. And I want you guys to either answer it in the comments. I want you guys to call us and talk about it with us. What are the next steps?
Absolutely.
How do we
And I really want you guys to really put some thought into what do you guys think are the next steps? Because our next steps are, at this point in the game, our next steps are critical.
Right.
We
can't make too many missteps.
Yeah, we can't make no more missteps.
Absolutely.
We got to get
calculate
it right.
that thing.
So I want you to really think about it, put some thought into it. And when you drop us a comment, make sure you drop a gem.
Oh yeah, and just be open and honest. Like this is a safe place. We're going to be talking about some deep things, and let it out. Let's talk.
Absolutely.
Let's talk. Let's be transparent as possible.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right, Venus. Well, let's start with you. Let's start with your take. What do you think we should do?
Well, for me, again, I've told you guys week after week that I am a parent, so I'm looking at this like, dang. What do I tell my children? How do I keep my children properly educated on what's going on in the situation? I have a 9-year-old boy and a 11-year-old daughter. And for me, it's like, how do I properly equip them for what's going on? Yeah, they're old enough to see the news and hear the news and see, okay, a lot of police are doing things out of context. My son is at the age where he's like, okay, mommy, police are still good people. But so, and he has that attitude. I want to be a police officer. They're good people. And it's like, okay, son, yes, they are. But in these days and ages, you have to be aware of what's going on and how the police are treating people.
Absolutely.
So for me, it's, hey, son, you're a black boy. You're a brown boy. You are not what the police are looking for to join their force.
Whoa. That's big.
Me personally, that's how I feel. Like if my son wanted to do that, I'd be terrified. In these days and ages.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just would.
That hit different.
And for my daughter, she doesn't too much care, but one day she's going to also have a black son and have a black husband, maybe. So my thing is to make sure that I'm teaching my children the right things. So, David, as a black boy, you need to be very vigilant of what you're going to face when you're dealing with police officers. You have to know, hey, you're getting pulled over. You have to know your rights. A lot of people do not know their rights.
It's true.
Hey, officer, what did you pull me over for? Okay, officer, well, am I being detained? That officer says, no. Okay, officer, please let me go. Let me go on about my day. Like there's rights that you have while being arrested that I think we as a community need to let our brown boys know. Yes, it's a matter of we're tired of being harassed by the cops, but in the difference, in the adverse side of that, it's like, okay, well, you already know they're coming to harass you. How do you change your actions to how they're reacting to you?
Right.
And that's more so what I have to teach my son as a black growing boy who has the attitude and the vibe that police are still good, but then now he's seeing the riots and everything, and I'm like, why is those people out there being bad? He don't understand. He don't understand the depth of what's going on. Whereas my daughter, like,
absolutely,
well, they doing what they got to do for a reason, so let me mind my business.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just a matter of how do we have that conversation with our children. I posed the question to just my personal friends, and a lot of them says I'm too emotional to even to discuss it. I don't understand it to tell it to my 6-year-old son. Then I had another friend who's like, I have to be very transparent with my kid. And I agree with that person 100%. I have to be transparent because I'd be the fool to not teach my children what's going on in the world and to not fully equip them with how to proceed and to move forward, knowing how the police already act towards us. So my take on this is about, children and properly educating them right now. Children between the ages of 5 and 18, they have to know what's going on. This is a part of their history. This is going in history books.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
Definitely.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I was taken aback by when you said my son wants to be a police officer, but I'm like, no. I'm like, whoa. That took me back because I also have a son, but he's much younger. He's, coming out of the toddler stage. He's 5 and he's oblivious to what's going on because I don't put that in front of him. In my house, he doesn't watch the news. He watches what's conducive, for his eyes. I do understand in the long run, this will be in the history books for him, just like I don't think he will remember the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. He will somewhat remember that I had to wear a mask at 5 years old, but I don't think he won't understand the depth of what's going on, the pandemic. He won't understand that until he's a grown man. But if my son said that he wanted to be a police officer, I don't think that answer would be no for me. But that's not my take. But my take is from a woman, but also a mom. As a woman, a Black woman, I have not been subject to the police abuse upon being pulled over. Like I have, as a Black woman, I haven't been subject of that. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but I feel like that we're less likely to be abused in that way than Black men. Only because of what I've seen. I think it's less. I'm not saying it does not happen, but it's the percentage is much, much lower. And in that, I've been able to flow with a little bit more confidence in my life because I'm not married. So I don't have that extra worry, in regards to my husband, not so much my child just yet. Of course, my brothers, my father, absolutely. But they know how to handle themselves in those situations. But my outlook is like, dang, I haven't been hit in the face with any type of rude situation with the cops. I never have in my life. Never, ever, ever. They've never been disrespectful. They've never been, condescending. None of that. I have not had that experience. And I went to one of the most, I would say one of the most diverse schools in Southern California. Yeah. And there was prejudice there. Oh, absolutely. The city that the school is in is one of the, oh my gosh, the prejudice in that city is just, on a whole nother level. But I was able to flow with everyone because I was put in that environment. I don't know. I guess being in those environments, I knew how to talk to everyone. I knew how to be around everyone. I wasn't exposed.
Early. You were exposed to those prejudice system, diversities quite early though, correct?
In high school.
Okay.
In high school, I was exposed to it. Before that, when I was in elementary school, I was exposed to a diverse community. So I went to a school that was in a Jewish neighborhood. Yeah. So I was, but it was a melting pot. Like everyone was there. So as a Black woman, that experience I have not had. I know it seems unreal, but I haven't had. I've witnessed it, absolutely, but I haven't had that experience. So it's a trip to hear people talk about their experiences. I'm like, dang. What did she do? What did she say? Dang, what did he do? What did he say to trigger that? Because even if someone did come up to me like that, it's like I know how to handle myself in that situation. It's not time to pop off. And my parents they didn't even have to teach me that because I was already dropped in that environment. It's like I knew how to deal with, like every color. I really knew that.
I like how you said that you would know how to address those police in those aggravating situations.
Right.
You have a cop that's pulling you over. Put your hands on the car. Hold on, pimp. I just passed up a stop sign.
Right. You're not. I ain't rob a bank.
You're not finna come at that police officer rude.
That's right.
You're
That's
gonna
true.
say,
You're
absolutely officer, I'm sorry. I might have California Road that stop sign. Right.
Right. Well, actually, no. If I did get pulled over, ma'am, I pulled. That's what I'm saying. Even with the pull being pulled over, the way they have approached me is totally different than just a lot of people I've witnessed or heard their situation. It is, ma'am, do you know why I pulled you over today? No, officer, can you please, explain, convey what the problem is? Yes, you did this and this and this. Oh man. Okay, so do you have to write me a citation and do this? That's what I'm saying. My interaction is a whole nother interaction. Like I haven't had that combative. I haven't had a rude officer, and he may have wanted to be rude, but he like, this black girl, so she talking like she got a job or something. She talking like she got some sense. So it's like, you can't be combative with someone that is like literally looking you in the face and having a conversation, because you would look really stupid.
Yeah.
You would look as if you can't carry yourself as, a person of the law, as,
like a law-abiding citizen.
Like a law-abiding citizen, or like someone who's, has the shield, that has the badge, So that's my take. I haven't had that situation. I haven't had to endure that, but I know my son may have to. So I'm ready to have that conversation, and I know his dad is ready to have the conversation. And on that side of the pie, his dad has experienced that, so he has a lot to teach.
I was just about to tell him. You're fortunate.
Yeah, he's going to be able to teach and tell him what's going on. So that's been my experience. So I know it's weird. I'm not even weird, just different. It's not the norm.
But that's a true blessing to be able as a woman to say that you haven't been able to encounter that.
Yes, but then I feel like some people are like, well, dang, she don't understand what we talk about. I disagree with them. It doesn't mean that, but you will have those people who say that. I didn't say I was never treated unfairly.
Right.
In this instance, this has never happened to me where, being pulled over or drug out of a car.
It's been
or talk too crazy. Well, talk too crazy. Yeah.
It's been real.
But that's my spill, So what about you, Sandi?
Well, my spill on it is, I'm the eldest of the group.
Yes.
I am not from
Every week she trying to tell us.
Every week she trying to come for me. And every week I tell her to keep living. Keep living.
She tell us every week.
Okay. But, and also I am not I'm not from California. I am from St. Louis, Missouri, actually. I'm from the Midwest.
From the Lou?
I'm from
the
Midwest
swine.
I'm from the Lou, and I'm proud.
Okay, I'm done.
But I being from St. Louis, I come from an area, a suburbanite area called University City, U City, Black and Gold. What's up, y'all? And it is a predominantly Jewish community.
Oh, wow.
So the diversity where I grew up was very real. I have lots of Caucasian friends. I have Jewish friends. I have Israeli friends. I have Asian friends. And as far as my family is concerned, I have all of that and then some.
Oh yeah.
So with my background being the way that it is, with the diversity it is, I know how to handle myself pretty much in all situations. Coming from St. Louis, I very vividly remember 9/11. I worked in a city called Weldon Springs when I worked for MCI WorldCom when they were still around. And the day that 9/11 happened and the gas prices went up, they told us, well, y'all know this area ain't so safe for us, so we need to get our gas and we need to get on down the road to get to our areas.
They told you that at the store? The owner?
We amongst ourselves, we knew that area wasn't the best area for us.
So, on 9/11?
On 9/11. You didn't want to get caught in Weldon Springs on the other side of that 90 after dark. You didn't want to get pulled over and not have gas and things like that, because St. Louis and Missouri have some very, very, very prejudiced areas.
And they were that high. They were that upset on 9/11.
I'm not saying that they were that upset on 9/11, but when the gas prices are going up and people are acting crazy in the midst of things that are going on, you knew, don't get caught over here in Weldon Springs.
Oh, so Weldon Springs was that town. Weldon Springs is the lily white place is where you should not be caught, regardless of what happened.
Regardless of
if it's 9/12, you shouldn't be there. Okay.
Be prepared is what I'm saying. So we knew the areas where we could travel. We knew the areas where we could go and hang out. And we knew the areas where, okay, it's getting a little bit dark. Let's go and get it back on over our side of town. Unfortunately, we knew that. However, that didn't happen in U City. Those were the neighboring counties, and those neighboring counties are still that way to this day. I did not grow up with the bad traffic stops like Ebony said. I still to this day, thank God, have not had a bad traffic stop.
Come on
that story is not my testimony. I can say that. However, on the flip side of that coin, I have seen my dad have that traffic stop.
Right, you've witnessed
I have
it.
seen my brothers have that traffic stop. I've seen and heard my husband tell stories of what he's gone through. So I understand what it's like to be on that side of the coin. I had another portion of the story that I was going to go into, but I'm going to take a turn and I'm going to talk about my day a little bit today, because I was telling the girls that I have had the roughest of the rough days today. And you all know what I work without giving too much information. You all know where I work. You know, I'm a manager in the retail business. And we all know that we got looting and protesting and all of those things that are going on right now. Well, my coworkers and I get to our store this morning and we see windows missing in our store. They have been busted out. You just walk up and you see the sheriff car here and you see the store and you see windows and glass down on the ground. And you're like,
man,
okay, what's done happened? We thought we was going to escape this. We thought we were going to escape it. Well, we get further inside the store and we see further damage. Come to find out, the sheriffs caught the people that did what they did, and they were minor children that looked like me.
Dang. It's the hormones in the food. I mean, that's totally off topic.
I don't know.
You
if
said they look like you, so
it's
black.
Black. I didn't want to say it that way, but
they look like we're adults.
They black kids.
They look like me. So in today's era, with what set the tone for my day was not the incident that happened. It's the fact to know that these were two black children, minor black
under
children.
18.
Under 18. They were trying to figure out what juvenile hall they were going to take these children to.
And if you saw what they took, it's like 16-year-olds. Is that worth it?
I can't take tell the audience what they took, but my girls know what they took, and to know what they took.
It ain't a whole lot of stuff in the store, in the convenience store,
but it's not worth it.
No matter what it is they took. Number one, it's not worth it. Number two, the biggest thing that hits for me is the reason that these protests are going on is because Black Lives Matter, like her shirt says. To know that we have two Black African-American underage children that's out here looting and breaking into stores while we're marching and protesting, not just for us, but for you all as our future. That cut.
Yeah, it cut. You know, there's two sides to that coin.
Yeah, I know that there are two sides to that coin. However, my take on it would be, what do we teach our babies? What are they? What
they're
are they
watching? If they're minor children, that means they know what's going on. And this is where I'm coming to the flip side of that.
Now let's just specify when we're saying minor children, what ages are we? Let's specify.
They were going to juvenile. They were under 18. They were going to a juvenile home.
Okay.
Assuming they were about 15, 16. Assuming.
So they know what's going on.
They know what's going on.
They know how to bust out a window.
Now, before she gets to the flip side of the coin, I will mention that one of the children's mother came down. She got wind of what was going on in the neighborhood.
Did she give him a whooping?
She came on down to the store. And let's just say that I don't think when that child gets free, he's going to have a very good day.
She gave him a whooping right there?
Mom came down and she was with the business.
Well,
so you may have two flip sides to that coin, but it looks as though mom is trying to handle her business with this minor child.
Yeah, there are two sides. Yeah.
So
we've seen that. I feel like last night I was watching My Money Is Your Money. Shouts out to our bishop and one of his commenters and Dr. Hall. Hey, Dr. Hall. Hey, Bishop. I do apologize. I just was trying to get that thought out. But one of the commenters said, my child is out there. And it's like, okay, that child is out there. You cannot put a stop to what that child is trying to do, because like you can try and educate that child, 15, 16, 17, especially those 17-year-olds. They are going to still go and do what they want to do. They are out there being the majority, protesting and I won't say looting, because I don't want to put that stereotype on our people. I'm not doing that. But they're out there protesting. I've seen videos. I've seen this. But
I don't think that's...
Parents ain't telling their kids. Ain't no parent out there telling their kids to go ahead and steal from the store. Go get mama that packet of that
hope
stuff.
That no parent.
Right, you don't know.
We're gonna hope that no parent
my coin.
As this parent ain't telling no child that live under my roof to go and steal anything. That's the most idiotic thing. And if you're a parent and you're telling your kid go loot, really?
I'm not saying go loot, but you have to remember before this, a lot of us lost our jobs. A lot of us don't have money coming in. So I probably can't buy some deodorant, probably a hairbrush.
So you would tell your child go loot?
No. My child that is 14, 15, 16 years old can see that in my house. I don't have to say anything. So I know they're out there looting. So the store around the corner may have a busted window. So I may go jump through it. Now, I'm not saying that's right, but that is a circumstance right now. Everyone doesn't have money. Everyone doesn't have food. So I think there are, it's a flip side to that coin. Am I condoning anything? No, absolutely not. But I have to be sensitive to the fact that everybody does not have the same things in their home. Everybody does not have food. Everybody does not have clothes. Everybody does not have a computer. Everybody does not have socks. Everybody does not have shoes. I'm not talking about those that are looting just to be looting. I'm not talking about those people, because there are some people out there that just don't have, that will walk into the busted glass window of Smart and Final and go take a shelf of bread, meat, some tomatoes, and some cheese, because at the house we're going to be able to make sandwiches for the next few days.
I'm not saying that's a portion.
I think that we still have to
there's a portion of the.
Absolutely.
I think that there are those people out there that may be doing things because they need to do things and they feel like that's their way and they need to fill that need and fill that void. But I'm going to say that the vast majority of those that are out there doing wrong, they are not doing wrong because they are trying to fill a need at home. That's just what I feel, because I'm looking at the news every day. I'm seeing what people are getting out of these stores.
I'm trusting channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13.
I'm trusting when I see the people come out the Mac store that everybody's going in there. I ain't got a computer home, because I didn't say everybody. I'm just saying
told you what they got on there. So.
I think the vast majority, when I see them, the jean store over in Long Beach.
Oh, that one went crazy in Long Beach.
Didn't they? They went lit.
If I was on the Parvis, that'd be the perfect store for me to go to. Sorry.
I don't know. It's just,
if it's in my area and I don't have them and I can go get them for everyone in my house, why wouldn't I? I'm just saying that's out there.
I mean, yes, there's definitely people who need.
We don't know what 14, 15, 16-year-old that came to your store, what their house was like. We know one of them probably wasn't like it for them because mama came out there with a belt. So we know one. We know one. She wasn't having it. Now the other two, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, I probably just
and we
can't
hope
speak
for
from
that teaching.
I just probably can't speak from that because I haven't, God has been fortunate. I have not been without. So maybe that's just me having a kind of like a blind eye. But even in those situations, I can't see myself saying, "Yeah, child, look, we low on butter, we low on this. Can you go and grab that?" I don't think my child that.
A teenager
whatsoever.
can see it. I can see that. I can see I don't have that in the house. So nobody need to tell me that. I'm finna go get it. Mama, I was out there looting. I got this and this and that. He or she, mom or dad, is not going to condemn me for going to the stores that's busted out anyway, and they got to replace their stores anyway to bring some food home. Mom and dad not going.
Mama don't got money.
They're not going to give me a whoop. They're not going to give me a whoop.
Okay with you getting that bread. Going to get that bread, but then is that same mom who don't have it going to put money on your books? No.
If mom got it, she probably will.
But she don't. But you just said you don't.
That means she can't. That doesn't mean that she won't. She just can't. If that's that mom, that means she can't do it. So that's not a fair statement.
We're going to agree to disagree on this one, because I think the vast majority of what I see out there and what I hear when the streets be talking and the streets be talking, I hear the vast majority of them. They're not out there because they're trying to fill a need. They're trying to fill a void. But you know what? While we're talking about this, I'm going to give you all the telephone number, because this is Split 3 Ways. You got our opinions. We need to drop down in the comments, and we need some people to call in.
Anybody answer our question? We posed the question.
I'm going to pose the question again. The question that we are posing to the audience is, what are the next steps? And you can give us a call at 213-528-9659 so that you can tell us what our next steps are, so that we can come together or what our community's next steps. I'm going to start off by saying that I think that our next steps is going to echo what you all say. I think our next steps need to be that we need to teach our youth.
Absolutely. That's
because, like I said, seeing that situation,
our youth right now are the business.
I'm not saying that our youth right now are not the business. I'm not saying that. I am just saying that there are those, and we cannot sit here and turn a blind eye and act like there are not those that are out there that are being opportunists in the midst of a protest and breaking off from the protest so they can go loot down at the at the whoever store it is.
Right.
We can't sit here and turn a blind eye to that. And
we got some comments going while we're waiting on a call. We have a guest that we're trying to bring in right now. But let me look at this. We have DeMarcus that says minors are easily influenced, so you have to monitor their friends. Absolutely. I feel like as a mom, you already dwindling out friends that you dislike. Not so much dislike, but you can see the traits that you don't want your child to pick up.
Right.
Kimberly says some are. Yeah. And I feel like she was talking to you, Ebony, when you were saying, when you were talking about the kids that's out there trying to provide for their home because they just don't see it.
Yeah.
She said, yes.
No, they don't have it.
They don't have it.
They see at home that we don't have bread. We don't have this. Well, I know, our bread is getting low. Our Cheerios are getting low. Our milk is getting low. But, hey, I saw, what's the name, around the corner, they busted out. Let's go around there.
Let's see what we can do.
Let's see what we can get.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's no fault in that. In this situation, in this climate,
I feel like there's no fault in that if that's what the situation is.
Well, that's all we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. In that situation, we're not talking about mama and daddy saying go steal, go loot, or anything like that. I don't condone that. Absolutely, 100%. That's not what it is.
But we got a special guest we gonna bring on in, huh?
Yeah, we do have a special guest. We're going to have 3 special guests in the show, just so you guys know. So I'm going to introduce our first guest. He's coming via the telephone. You're going to hear him. He is a husband. He is a father figure. He is a sports enthusiast. He is a professional truck driver by trade, and his name is none other than Mr. Trevor Pollard.
Hey!
Welcome, Trevor.
Hey, babe. Welcome to the show.
I'm gonna need that type of intro every time. I'm gonna start calling you.
Look, he like, I need that intro when I walk through the door.
You need that intro.
Yeah.
Husband, hey, father figure.
Don't hit him with the
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need. Oh, there you go. Anywho,
I love y'all.
Anywho, babe, can you tell us what are our next steps? What has been your experience through everything that we've been going through? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? What do you think are the next steps that we need to take?
For real, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even care no more because it's like, when is it gonna end? I don't think it's never gonna end, right? Let's go back. Let's go back to the watch riot. Let's go back to the Rodney. Let's go back to the Rodney King's riot. Now we got this. This one is way bigger because now it's damn near the whole globe, right? But I don't think it's gonna end. I think it's gonna calm down for a minute. Everybody gonna put their guards down, and then it's gonna go right back to same. I feel what we have to do. The only thing that we can do is police our own community. We have to police our own community because nobody's policing the police. So let us police our own community. Let us police the black and brown. Let us teach each other the right thing. We catch somebody doing wrong, let's do like our grandmamas and our old neighbors used to do back in the day.
I like that.
Yeah, whoop off when we catch one of these kids doing wrong.
Whoop their butt.
Whoop their ass. And then send them
that
home,
part.
And then your mama gonna whoop your ass.
Come on. And if you got that granny, she doing it too. So you getting 4 whoopings before you know it.
Right.
Yeah. That's the village. I agree with you 100%.
That's the only way it's gonna change. Okay. And then these kids, they gotta listen. Because nowadays you can't tell some of these kids nothing, especially when they 16, 17, 15.
You don't know me. Yeah. You ain't my daddy.
You can't tell them nothing.
Yeah, that was me.
And then you gotta bust them right across the head for a couple of times, and they might understand.
Then they get it. Yeah.
Or you can't tell them nothing for their parents. Well, did you put your hands on my child? Did you correct my child?
Right. I'm not that parent. Right. Correct my child where she's standing. Right. Please.
Absolutely.
And then let me know you corrected them.
That's right.
And then like Venus said earlier today about talking to her son about how to approach the police when they pull you over. Like for example, a couple of weeks ago, I got pulled over. I seen them coming for me. I was on 48th and Compton coming to the house.
In the city.
I seen them. Yeah, I seen them. They hit me with the disco lights and everything. I kept pushing them. I came all the way down to my block. Busted left on 53rd, pulled over right in front of the park. They walked up to me. One of them stayed in the car. I guess he was running my place and whatnot. The other one walked up to my car and was like, "You know why I pulled you over for?" I'm like, "No, not really." So he was like, "Oh, we seen you swerving lanes." Now, mind you, on Compton, it's only 2 lanes. Right?
And Compton Streets is right, bro.
On Compton Avenue, right? It's only 2 lanes. Now I'm in the left lane because I know I'm gonna make a left from 53rd.
Right.
So he tells me, okay, I see you swerving lanes. I'm like, well, I don't think so because I'm in the left lane from 48 all the way here. Then his partner come out the car and was like, oh yeah, we seen you pick up your phone. Oh, I'm like, okay, so which one was it? Was I swerving lanes or was I picking up my phone? I said because I got Siri. You know, she talked back. She ain't hard-headed. I can talk to her. She can talk back.
Tell her
whatever you want her to do.
She a good lady.
Right.
Come on.
I said, because I got Bluetooth and Siri's going to listen.
Right.
So then they was like, all right, well, let me see your license. Okay, I'm like, all right. Even though I could have told them no because you haven't got me for a crime. I'm not being detained.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm talking to him calm though. You know what I mean?
Right,
That's the first thing. You don't get loud with him or nothing. But I'm talking to him calm. So I gave him my license and the dude was like, well, can you get out the car so we can search your car? And I told him no. I said, I know my rights. I said, first of all, you can't search my car without my consent. And I'm telling you no. I said, second of all, you can't search my car without a search warrant.
That part.
I said, but because I'm in a good mood. If you want to waste your time and my time, because I ain't got nothing to do, I'm going to go home and drink some Cavassier with the homies anyway. I said, so if you want to waste your time and and search my car, you can go and ride on ahead. I said, but when you're done, I'm going to need your badge and ID number.
What they do? I
said, so they gave me my driver's license and said, had a good day. Have a good day, Mr. Polly.
That's it. You knew your rights, and they seen that you knew your rights as a black man.
Right. And then the thing is, that's a crash unit. Crash units don't do traffic stops.
It was a crash unit?
Right. Crash unit. Drugs. Yeah, no top. They only supposed to look for gang banging. Not crash units. Black and white, no top. They only supposed to look for gang bangers.
Help me today.
Just because I'm in my car. And I told them too, when they pulled me over and gave me both the excuses, I said, y'all was better off telling me about my music because I was slapping. I said, y'all was better off saying you pulled me over because of my music. But, you know, they gave me my license back and said, all right, have a good day, Mr. Paul. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, it's all about, like Venus was saying, you got to know how to talk to them. You got to know your rights. You just can't be, what the hell you pulled me over for? And whoop. You can't do none of that.
All right.
Then it's the whole precinct going to come down. And you don't want that.
Absolutely.
But,
dang, Trevor, you got some really good points. And I love the fact that you said we need someone because there's no one to police the police. Like, what does that look like for us going forward? How do we have someone to police the police?
The village being comfortable with the village. Absolutely.
Yeah, because nobody's going to police the police. Just like they got what's that lady named? Lacey?
Right.
That they trying to get out of here now.
Oh, yeah.
None of these cops.
Absolutely not.
Not near cop. They trying to get her up out of here now. So there is no one to police the police. So what we have to do as a community, black and brown, we have to police each other.
Absolutely.
Because we're not going to shoot each other.
Right.
Well, not if we police each other the right way.
I feel like that's a whole nother conversation.
Right,
whole nother conversation.
Right.
We're going to ask you to hold that comment till the next time. So we do thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And we praying for your safety out there as a black man.
Yes,
know that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a good evening.
No matter what. Oh, yeah. Because I still got more to say.
No, we're going to talk to you on the next show.
You want me to say what I ain't going to be your face? What you want me to say?
All right, Trevor. Thank you. Oh, man.
All right.
Before we bring on our next guest, let's hit some of these comments.
Really quickly, please.
Really quickly. Sandi, hit them with the question again before I read.
The question is, what are our next steps? What are our next steps?
What we want some of you to chime in on what our next steps are. But before we pull in our next guest viewer, some of these comments say we have to teach our youth. Iceman says we have to teach our youth to be leaders and not followers. Q Pollard says I agree with that fact. It was something that we were saying.
Yeah.
Nisi's like, you're absolutely right, Ebony. And it was sad but true. That's when you were talking about the people looting just because.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah. DeMarcus says the legal firearm carriers got to stop being scared to stand up to the police, but also keep the community in check. That's part of the next step.
All right. That's good.
That's a bit scary because remember Bishop did talk about the person who was in their own home last night and they called the police and that person got shot up.
Yeah.
And he had, you know, it was his rifle. He didn't specify if it was his own license to carry, but you know, then they're gonna try to figure something out.
Well, yeah. On his property,
like on his property,
right?
Man.
Oh wow,
that's good, DeMarcus.
Well, folks, we have another guest that's coming into our show. This guest that we have, he is a writer, he is a teacher. Yes. And he is an internet talk show host.
Well, all right.
Come on, internet talk show host.
In that thing.
Well, you all welcome to the show, Mr. Tritano Evans.
Hey, Tritano.
Welcome. Hello there.
Pleasure to be with you.
Yes. So you've been listening to our conversation, right? Oh, wow. So won't you give us your take on what do we do next? Or, you know, your opinion or, you know, your insight to the events going on, you know, surrounding the death of George Floyd.
Oh, boy. This has been an overwhelming experience. I'm still struggling to sort of absorb it all. But on Memorial Day, when we all watched what happened to Mr. Floyd, it was definitely shocking, to say the least. But as we all know, this is something that happens too frequently in this country. And I just think the movement that we've been witnessing and participating in is long overdue. I'm glad it's happening.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. What you said you're glad it's happening, meaning the protest, or you like the fact that the protest looks more diverse. You like the fact that it's coast to coast. You like the fact that, you know, you're now able to or want to participate. Why does it look good for you? What looks good?
All of the above. And I do appreciate the diversity. The diversity is undeniable. If you look at a lot of these crowds across the nation, some days when I was watching, I was hard pressed to find a black face.
Right. We're like, where we at?
Yeah.
Right. But I also felt that was exactly what needed to happen, because
we've been fighting.
Well, we all need to participate in this movement in order to create the America that was written in the original documents.
I
you know what I'm
agree.
saying? If we're not all a part of the change, then I think the change is impossible. But I want to say something too. I was very proud of the peaceful protesters, but I think that all of the rioting and sort of the violence that took place too was inappropriate but necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Blow it up.
Yeah,
burn it down.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
Well, the former president said, Barack Obama, that this country was formed out of protest, right?
Right.
The American Revolution, and I thought about the French Revolution. I just thought about what has to happen in order for change to take place. It usually is something pretty tumultuous. And so I value the participation of everybody, even the people who are knocking windows out. My feeling was,
come on now. Knock them down. Roll them out.
Knock them all the way out.
All right.
Break them down.
I'm too old to be out there acting like that, and I have to represent a certain character because, I'm a teacher and, and things like this. But,
right.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Come on, teacher. You got to.
I was like, kick it in, kids. Go ahead on.
Kick it in, kids.
I got your back.
Do what y'all got to do. Do what y'all got to do.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
I did. And I'm very proud of everyone who participated.
In regards to that diverse look, I kind of felt like in past time, times before us, we did all the marching, we did all the protesting, we did all the arguing, we did all the everything, and then all the other ethnicities rided our coattail when we got some of what we wanted. Do you guys feel that way? I kind of feel like the marches, the protests, the boycotts, the this and that. We're able to do some of those things in society now, but everyone's kind of, riding on our coattails.
Right. It wasn't until they went to that other area,
Well, I just kind of feel like before now.
Doing stuff right now.
Well, now that's affecting their area now. I think we understand, hey, go to that area
specifically.
That's not, that doesn't want you around to do what you need to do and then come home.
Specifically.
You know what I mean?
Well,
over yonder.
Again, in this country, if you look at the old images of, for example, from the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King marched with black people, but there were also Jewish leaders there. There were white leaders there. And the nature of this country requires sort of like a pluralistic approach to change, because that's the whole thing that has everybody upset, is that we have all this diversity here and these different groups here, and every group is represented. And it seems like every group has an opportunity except the Black people.
Except us.
Right. So
why does democracy
everyone
not look like us?
why does democracy exclude us? When in
we
my
built
opinion,
this thing.
Right. In my opinion, democracy couldn't have happened
without us.
if we didn't participate in, in the creation of this country.
Absolutely.
So what do you feel we do now? If you had to sum everything up and say, what do we do now? What would you give the people, the young people, the older people?
Okay, so I was doing a little bit of research on this, and I was very impressed by Barack Obama's speech yesterday. And just as a Black man and having had some incidents with the police, not very serious ones, but very uncomfortable ones.
Oh, lucky. Okay.
I think what there is a fundamental mistrust between the Black community and law enforcement. And so there have to be major changes, and it has to start with the trust, because as you know, in any relationship, if you don't have trust, then that relationship is doomed.
It's doomed.
That relationship is doomed. But we have to look at it from a historical perspective and understand why this thing is happening. You look at what James Baldwin said, which was, why do we need, can I say the N-word? Why do we need?
Say what you gotta say.
No, but why do we need? These are James Baldwin's words. He said, "Why do we need a nigger?" He said, "I didn't know
you were saying the ER one.
Yeah, well,
say what you gotta say. Like, wait a minute, I was with you. I thought you were saying the IA, not the ER.
My bad,
point.
He asked the question. I'm just repeating what he said.
Yes, use his words. Use his words.
I am a man, but white people call me this, or the white culture created this identification, and you have to wonder, why do they need that? Why do you need to call me that?
Right.
Why do you need to support this stratification where
superior,
white people are on top and Black people are on bottom? We all got here at the same time and did the work together. Now all of a sudden I'm not able to partake in the enrichment that I built, from the White House on down.
My blood, sweat, and
I just
tears.
look at all these beautiful lawns around here in California and Los Angeles, and, just how beautifully this country is landscaped.
Oh, well manicured.
Wow, yeah, Black people did that.
Yes, we did.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have invested in this country in a way that I think no other culture in this country has.
Absolutely.
And
I feel like it was built on our backs. Okay.
It was built on our backs, absolutely,
was.
metaphorically and literally. It was built on our backs.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so the question was, what do we do going forward?
Yes.
We have to acknowledge the participation of everybody that contributed to this country becoming the most successful economy in world history.
Absolutely.
Right. We have to do that. And then we have to think about, how do we retrain these people that are tasked with enforcing the law, and ask the question, what is law enforcement? Because I've lived in different countries. I lived in South Korea, I lived in Japan, I lived in Turkey. And I've had an opportunity to observe how law enforcement is administered around the world. And I was most impressed in Japan, because they have huge cities like Tokyo, where I live, that has 30 million people. The police in Tokyo do not have guns. And the people in Tokyo do not kill each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have to look at our culture and why we have this systemic violence. Why are we so violent towards each other? Right? Not only the police, but just people.
I feel like
they
taught us that by setting us up and not giving us an equal playing field.
I'm trying to go without pointing fingers, but I'm glad you guys are.
No, because hey, we really.
It is what it is. I kind of felt it was a taught behavior. That superiority.
But then it goes back to what I said earlier about this fundamental mistrust, because if I cite countries like Japan or South Korea, you're also talking about countries that are ethnically homogenous.
Right.
But here we have a lot of diversity. So we don't trust each other.
No,
all these
we don't.
different groups, but this is an experiment, the United States, right? So you got all these
all day, every day
together. How do we coalesce?
Right. Come on.
It's a big question, but I think this is what is magnificent about this country, that these people, the founding fathers, had this great ideal and they wrote it down on paper.
Yes.
And then they revolted against the English crown and said, we're going to try it our way.
Yes.
And what a wonderful idea they had. But that idea was inclusive. It's written down.
Right.
And so I think it should include us. So we have to acknowledge the fact that we're different, but we need to get along. We need to figure out how to blend our differences. We need to acknowledge that the Constitution should be extended to all of its citizens.
Absolutely.
And then we have to figure out what law enforcement's role is in our communities, Black communities specifically. And somebody said that, what do we do with law enforcement? I think we need to, something was like, I forgot what the question was exactly, but in terms of how to get law enforcement to a better place.
How to police the police.
I think that was it. How to police the police. We have to police ourselves, and we have to police the police. So there needs to be more community engagement in law enforcement.
Absolutely.
And we have a bad habit in the Black community
of
and
not participating in that.
But you know where that comes from? From that tired old statement that we need to get out of our mouths that if snitches get stitches.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
We don't tell on each other because we think somehow I'm going to lose my Black card. I would rather have a safe community and no Black card. I would rather have Black men not dead in the streets regularly and no Black card. I don't want to see a Black girl getting punched in her face by somebody in the community. I would rather call the police and have somebody stop that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like, we have to be more involved. We have to be more engaged with law enforcement. We have to do it.
I think that's a very good word.
Yeah. I also think, I'm sorry, I'm like kind of on a roll now, but I also think.
He rolling.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, you know that old saying, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yep.
You know, everybody wants to rap. Everybody wants to ball. Like, what happened to wanting to be a police officer? I think they started at like 70,000.
Yeah.
And all you need is a GED.
That's it.
Can I just keep it real?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not saying that it's. I'm just saying that it is an opportunity that is accessible. It is a job that you can do, that you can give back to your community. And if you see more people who look like you, I think that there would be more of an opportunity to develop or to repair the trust.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing white law enforcers beating up Black people. Maybe we need more Black people enforcing the law around Black people.
Absolutely.
Exhausted, but man.
Well, Chitano, thank you.
Very in-depth.
Well,
thank you so much, guys.
You gave us a mouthful.
He gave us a mouthful and a lot to digest.
Thank you. Well, we have come to the end of our show.
Well,
we're down to
no, we're not.
We're not at the end of our show.
Hold on. We're not.
We have to.
We have one more guest.
We got one more guest.
We got one more guest.
So why we
told me we got another guest.
I'm not playing with her.
We have another guest on our show. We're gonna take, but before we take that guest, we're gonna take a phone call.
Absolutely.
Hello, caller. You are on the line with Split3 Wayz. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, actually, I tried to cut me off. That ain't fair. That ain't right.
Oh,
we're
not trying to cut you off.
Trying to cut you off.
What's up?
Who is it? Who are we speaking to?
I'm joking. How you doing? My name is Jordan Williams. I'm a Crenshaw organizer. I'm class of 2014.
Okay.
What's up, Jordan? How you doing?
Was a part of the Crenshaw protest today. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Well, Jordan.
But, yeah, I'm just here to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm just here to show my support in the conversation. I mean, I really enjoyed everything that y'all were talking about. And today's event that we did in front of Crenshaw High School really, I think, embodies and hit a lot of those things that y'all were talking about. You know, a lot of the plight that we're talking about is a movement that's happening right now is something that people have died for hundreds of years. And we're just really trying to honor those people in this moment and recognize that their work is not being in vain. We're seeing actual change. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but a lot of people are having a lot of different conversations. Check social media, check TikTok. A lot of young people are challenging their parents. A lot of families are having conversations that are really going to challenge people to start actually making change. Because everybody likes to talk about, like, you know, you don't want to talk about it all day. You don't want to keep talking about it. But
hey, Jordan,
can you do me a favor?
Give us
can
one
you do
second.
me a favor?
Yeah.
I actually am going to ask you to hold on, because the next guest that we have on our show is actually an activist in the Crenshaw neighborhood, and his name is Mr.
You know him very well.
I think you know him. I think you know him. I think he's one of your boys, Mr. Justin Cook.
Yes, he just wanted me to call in as well. Yes, Justin.
Yes, Justin. Welcome to the show, Justin.
What's up?
What's up?
What up, Jordan?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
You know how it is. You know what we did today, man.
So Justin, we're so happy to have you here, and thank you so much for joining us. But again, you know, we're getting down. We got to round it up. What's next? What's next?
Well, that was kind of our thing today. What was the march for? Me and Jordan. Jordan was kind of iffy to do the march in the Crenshaw community because if you know the Crenshaw community, we can be rowdy. So let me move it forward. At this point, I hear people saying we have to retrain. Your last guest said that. It's not about retraining. It's about now reforming.
I like that.
We have to take.
Yes.
We have to go ahead and hold Eric Garcetti. We have to hold Eric Garcetti, Galvin Newsom, Marquise Harris Dawson, Karen Bass, Maxine Waters, and Mark Ridley Thomas accountable. They have to take things out of the legislation, add things to these legislations, take things out, and really move forward and say, you have to use the force that the force gives. If somebody is fighting you with your fist, why pull out a gun?
Absolutely.
Okay. If somebody has a knife, why are we doing that? So I think that's basically what do we do next. So our merch today, I know you guys probably saw some Fox LA. Jordan Williams had everybody laying in the middle of Crenshaw and Slauson, and we shut it down.
Wow.
We laid down for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Oh, wow. Talk about impactful.
Right. And we yelled, "We cannot breathe," just like George Floyd did. And it was a really peaceful protest. They were showing us as they were showing George Floyd's funeral. Oh, wow. So it was really a great thing. So like I said, we got to get active in our community.
Absolutely.
And you guys are asking a great question. What do we do now? We asked the same question because we marched from 11th Ave and 52nd southbound to Slauson to Crenshaw.
Oh, they was walking away.
And we turned all the way down and went northbound to Lamert Park. And our question was, what do we do now? And it doesn't stop here. This is the start. We marched. Now, when this march is over,
what do we do?
They're probably going to give us some money because it's a pandemic right now, and they're going to try to shut us up. But now we still going to keep this fight going. You can't shut us up.
That's right.
That's really good. That's powerful. Is there any marches that you guys have before this week is ending? Because we want to be able to tell the people so they can come out and peacefully protest. This is what it's all about, the peaceful protest aspect.
We don't have anything planned right now, but if we have anything coming up, we will let your show know so you can put it out there for us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Justin, so much. Thank you so much. Well, we will be wrapping up our show this evening. Yes. Again, Justin, thank you so much for coming on with Split 3 Wayz. We appreciate you and everyone down in the Crenshaw district for what you guys are doing, for the example you are showing, and for coming here on our show and letting our viewers know that what you are doing and, eventually how we can also participate in what you're doing. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Of course, we are on every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Thank you for being so loyal to us. We love you. We love you. Follow us on all of our social media platforms using the handle Split3 Wayz with a Z. And we look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye. We love you.
Yes. And I am your bossy babe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm your busy girl. I'm your busy girl.
You're the busy girl. You're the busy girl. We are Split3 Wayz. We are out of here. Bye. You guys take care. God bless.
Oh my gosh. It's time to go.
What up?